today I am going to teach you how to have the relationship that you love and deserve. And yes, you can have it with the broken relationship that you are in right now. Most people think they have to end the relationship that they are in because it's not working, because they're arguing, or because the person getting their damn nerves, or whatever issue. People are always looking for a way out of their relationship and pointing the finger as to why the relationship isn't working, but you don't realize is that you are a component of the reason why that relationship is not working. So today I want to bring things to your awareness that will empower you in any relationship that you are in, because I think we all want to feel like we have control in our life and we have power in our life. And especially when it comes to our vulnerable, intimate relationships, we want to make sure that we are empowered, we're nourished, and we feel loved. But sometimes there's different types of relationships, and it's best that you don't compare your relationship with others, because you don't know the dynamics of that relationship. You don't know what they're doing, and you have to understand the type of relationship that you are in. And also what we're going to do, we're going to talk about when it's time to end the relationship, because there are times where you need to end the relationship, okay? So I want to talk about that, but the point of this is I want you to be empowered, and I want you to have healthy, loving relationships. Now, I'm into astrology, and so that is a key component of picking the person for you. And I don't want to say the right person, because you can be with anyone. And if you understand yourself, you can be in a compatible relationship or incompatible relationship. But the first thing is that you must know your birth chart. You must understand your programming, or whatever you want to call it. You must understand yourself before you get into a relationship. And most of us, we get into a relationship not knowing ourselves, not being aware of ourselves. And we're looking for that relationship to fill a void that we have within ourselves. But that is not the responsibility of any relationship that you have. Okay? The responsibility of that relationship is to show you yourself. Because as human beings, we are not here to be alone. We are here to connect with one another. So the best way that you can have a fulfilling connection is by being aware of who you are and what you put out. Okay? Because whatever you're putting out, you're getting that. Thank you for responding, McGuinea Pig. Yes, that's where you can get your birth chart. And so now I have my notes because I didn't want to forget anything. So the next compatibility would be emotional and sexual compatibility. Okay. So you could be in a relationship with someone and y'all have an intuitive connection. Y'all are best friends. Y'all love each other, but the sex doesn't work. Or when it comes to intimacy, there's a disconnect. There's a friction to it. Okay. That doesn't mean that you should not be with that person. You have to look at the sun moon compatibility to see if it's an emotional connection. And most people, they want a sex and attraction compatibility, like romance. Like we want romance. We want a person to love us and adore us. Well, that's a Venus and Mars compatibility. Now, just because you may not be compatible with Venus and Mars does not mean it's not a rewarding relationship. It just means that your relationship is not built on sex and attraction. If you have a sun moon compatibility, that means that your relationship is built on an emotional connection, an intuitive connection. Y'all really understand and get each other. And that's a more unbreakable bond than a sexual bond. Because the reason why I say this is because as you get older, because some of you will, as you get older, you may not be as attractive, or your parts may not work, or if your relationship started on a physical connection, I'm going to tell you right now, that's what's not going to keep it. Because once you get married or get into a long-term relationship and children come, responsibilities come, the last thing you want to do is have sex with someone. You just want to rest. You just want to have time alone. So if your relationship is just built on sex alone, when the bad times come, I'm going to tell you right now that relationship isn't going to last, because you're going to need more than just sex and attraction to sustain a relationship. And that's something I had to learn as I got older, But the best relationship is when you and that person understand each other, when you take the time to understand one another, even in the bad times. You understand this person's flaws. You understand this person's struggles. You understand them when they get upset with you. You understand that. That's what you're wanting, is someone that understands you. But the thing is, you must be the person that understands them. There needs to be equal, there needs to be, oh, the mailman is here, y'all. There needs to be equal understanding in a relationship for it to grow and for it to sustain, because an incompatible relationship, this is the reason why I love an incompatible relationship. One, I am in an incompatible relationship, okay? Some of y'all don't know my story, me and my husband's story. When we first met, we didn't really like each other like that. It was just the circumstance that we were in that we came together. But we didn't understand each other. We just didn't get each other. But as time grew, we realized that our relationship was built on more purpose than anything else. So the purpose that we both had within us is what made us want to grow in the relationship. I don't like to say work on the relationship, because love doesn't take work. Love takes allowing. It doesn't take work. It doesn't take resistance. So if you feel like it's a whole bunch of resistance and work on your part to make a relationship sustain, you need to stop and breathe and reevaluate, because to really be with someone, you need to open yourself. You need to allow them in. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable because we don't like vulnerability, but to be in any relationship, you must be open to be vulnerable, to show yourself, to share your emotions, even if they're nasty and ugly and hurtful. You want to be in a relationship to where you can express yourself authentically, and that person won't take it as personal. They'll take it personal, but they won't take it as personal, because you would rather be with someone that can speak from their heart than somebody who's just speaking lies to you to entertain you. So with an incompatible relationship, the difference between that is in the compatible one, like I was saying before I got sidetracked, is that you have to be willing to grow in an incompatible relationship. Okay? So for example, if you are a sun in Gemini and you are with a sun in Scorpio, that is definitely an incompatible relationship. Okay? Now you could be a sun in Aries and a sun in Leo, and that's compatible, but then there's other components within your birth chart that makes you incompatible, okay? So, a sun in Gemini and a sun in Scorpio are very incompatible, because Scorpio is water, and they're about commitment and longevity and loyalty. And Gemini is air. Gemini is fickle. It's flexible. It does not want commitment of any kind. So just put those two together, what you think you're gonna get? Harmony? Hell no. That's why most of those relationships don't work. Now they come together because of the passion and the sparks and the curiosity, but eventually that fades out, because what did I say? You cannot build a relationship on sex and attraction alone. Okay. And then also with astrology, I love astrology. I really do. As you continue to grow with me, you'll understand it's really important. But don't use your astrological chart or programming as an excuse to be an asshole, as an excuse to be needy, as an excuse to just not work on yourself in this relationship. Your astrology is here to make you aware of yourself, okay? It is not, you are not a victim to your chart, okay? I'm going to say that again. You are not a victim to your chart. Everything about you is perfect and divine, even your debilitations. There's a reason why you have the debilitations in your chart. It's for you to learn yourself and help others learn what you had to learn. Okay? In order for you to learn and to teach, you have to have experience. So that's why you have these debilitations and these squares and quincunxes and karma and generational curses. They are there for your own good, so that you can help others by fulfilling your purpose within your traumas. and your curses. Okay, I know you come from a fucked up childhood. I get it. I know your mother and father are crazy. I get it. But that is no reason to stay within that mindset to be a fucked up individual, to be a victim of your life. No, I'm sorry. You can't do that. Yes, we all come from a fucked up childhood. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. All of us have experienced something within our youth, in our childhood, that really took us away from who we really are. That messed with our self-esteem, our self-worth. We all of us, okay? We were all born into iniquity. You must know that. You must know that no one's better than you, and you are no better than no one else. Someone is carrying a burden on their back. You need to know that. Even the person that you are in a relationship with, you got to ask yourself, why are they treating me the way that they're treating me? They can only give you the love that was given to them. But see, you can only receive the love that was given to you. So if you got all the love and nourishment that you needed, you're not going to choose a person that's toxic. You're not going to choose a person that's going to hurt you, because you wouldn't attract something that's not already within you. But if you're in a relationship and they're being abusive, they're being a narcissist, they're being anything but kind, that's letting you know there's something within you that must change, because you attracted that into your life. Okay? It's not them, it's you. And you must know that to have an empowered life, you must know you are always to blame to your life. Okay? You are the blame to allow that person into your life that don't love you, don't respect you, don't treat you the way you deserve, because you allowed it. That's why you are the blame. Because you allowed that man or woman to hurt you, to disrespect you, to not see your worth. You allowed it. So if you allowed it, that means you are responsible for it. Okay? So knowing your astrological chart does not give you a lead out. Just because your moon is in Scorpio don't mean it's okay for you to be the way that you are. Yes, you are that way, but you have the decision to be something different that's going to help you. So you can be yourself and stay that way. You could be your shitty self and just be that way, and that's perfectly fine. But if you see being that way for yourself isn't helping you, then it's time for you to make a decision to do something else. And you don't want to learn your astrology to change yourself. You want to learn your astrology to know yourself, to be very aware of yourself, because to be aware of yourself is true spirituality. Okay? So now we're going to get into the big one. And that is, in your relationship, what expectations did you have or do you have? Okay? Because I did a reel about this, and people would not like when I said your expectations is your fault. It's not their fault. But I think the reason why people felt a certain way about that is because they got it confused. When you are in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, you should be communicating. Make sure you are communicating about everything. Don't leave nothing off the table, because you do not want to create space for assumptions, because you already know what happens when you assume something, right? So, there's a difference between expectations and agreements. You have relationship agreements, and you have expectations about what a relationship should be for you. Okay? So this is what a relationship agreement looks like. You and the person get together, y'all like each other, whoop, 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 y'all kicking it. You're like, I want this to continue. You're like, okay, well, for me, my agreement is that I practice monogamy. If I'm sleeping with you, I don't want you sleeping with another person. I practice monogamy. I'm not polygamist. I'm not any of that. I'm not open. I like to share this moment just with you, and is that something that you're into, right? Most people don't ask that question. Most people just expect that person is going to be monogamous, that person is not going to step out into the relationship, out of the relationship. And most of y'all know that is never the case. So then you get mad when you find out that they're seeing somebody on the side. Well, first of all, did you even have that conversation with them? Is this something that we are going to make an agreement in the relationship? Okay. And then another thing is when you're in a relationship, one of your agreements should be as a man and woman, because we have these expectations on the roles of what a man and woman should be doing, right? Not into 2021, honey, because now the woman is just as powerful and domineering than the man is. So you need to make sure you know what type of man and woman that you with, because you just because she a woman, don't expect that she gonna be sitting at home cooking and cleaning for you and laying on her back. Oh, no, no, no. These new women today, they pride themselves in not knowing how to cook. So if you want somebody that's going to be a homemaker, take care of your children, cook proper foods, take care of the home, you need to ask that. You need to make that an agreement. So don't you go ahead and marry. Yeah, she might be beautiful, looking like Cardi B with the weave and the nails and the booty. But then when she get home, what she say? I don't cook, I don't clean, but nigga, I still got that ring, okay? Don't get mad because you never asked her if this is something that she agrees to, okay? And women, gotta get on you too. Don't expect because he a man that he gonna be a provider. Don't expect that. These men today, they pride themselves not working. They entrepreneurs, they free spirit. Okay, they not working for the man. You need to ask that. Like, as a man, what is your role in this relationship? What do you think the role of a man is in a relationship? Don't assume because he a man that he necessarily going to take care of your ass. So then when y'all get married, his ass can't keep a job. His ass don't know how to save. His ass don't got no money. And he keep asking you for some change. And then you get mad and then you expect for him to have standards for his life and ambition. But you didn't ask that before y'all got married. You didn't ask him, like, what is you trying to do? What is your 5-year goal? What is your 1-day goal? Like, hell, forget 5 year. What is you doing today? You need to ask this. Because you're only setting yourself up to fail when you have all these dreams and aspirations, and then you realize your man don't give a damn about that. That's not his thing. Okay? And one of the things, because I like to keep it personal and transparent with you. One of the things that I learned in my relationship with my husband is that him and I had an expectation on what we thought our role should be in our relationship. See, when he looked at me, he thought I was going to be like his mama. He was like, well, my mama do all this. My mom cook like this and she take this and she do that. And I'm like, well, I ain't your mama. But then I was doing the same thing to him. I was like, well, my daddy, he take the trash out all the time. He do this, he do that. He handle everything. And he's like, well, I'm not your daddy. And so when we realized that we were trying to make each other be our parents and not really looking at each other for who we were, that is when we had a breakthrough in our relationship. Because I'm like, first of all, I'm not your mama, okay? I'm not her and don't want to be her. She love it, she cool, but I'm just saying, don't expect for me to be that type of woman when that's not who I said I was. And then when he realized that, like, okay, she doesn't have to be like my mother, but who is she? So when he started seeing me for who I was as a wife, as a mother, then that's when he was able to let go of the guard and expectation of what he thought the relationship could be. And even with me, when I realized that, okay, just because my daddy did everything for my mama, it don't mean that the man I'm with gonna do that. And so now that, because him and our relationship is built on sovereignty. And it's not that we don't take care of each other, because we definitely have roles in our relationship. We believe in that. But we just took away the expectation of what we wanted the other to be. See, that's the difference. It wasn't about, oh, you don't have any standard. Oh, no, you have standards, but you must talk about that before you even go further in the relationship. And a lot of y'all go further into the relationship. You commit to the relationship before you even realize what you committed to. And then when you realize it's not what you want, then you want to change the person. But then the person was like, I didn't sign up for that. That's not what I said. And then you're going to make yourself be the victim of circumstance, or really it was just about what you did and did not do. Okay. Yes, the journalist, I'm going to save this live. I always try to save my lives. So yeah. And so what, oh yeah, so most importantly, make sure you are communicating. That's the most important thing. Make sure that you are communicating. Oh my gosh, y'all, me and my husband, we have conversations, and sometimes we hurt each other's feelings. We just do. We hurt each other's feelings. And this, oh, you have to be okay with hurting each other's feelings in a respectable way. And I'm not talking about yelling and cussing at them and calling them out their names, but I'm talking about being authentic, being like, okay, you know what? I don't like that. That's not what I want. And I'm okay with addressing that. You know what I mean? And being like, that hurt my feelings when you said that. Like, why did you say that? Don't bottle it in. Don't bottle any emotions in. When something is triggering you, you bring it to their attention. Because if you don't say something, now they're not responsible for your triggers. They're not responsible for whatever's triggering you. You are responsible. But if you are in a healthy relationship, you should be able to bring that to them. Because maybe they can help you see it in another way. Or maybe that can bring understanding to them. Why you always acting like a bitch? Like, but once you bring it to them, like, oh, that's what you was thinking? That's not what I meant when I did that. And they're like, oh, because communication brings understanding. Communication brings clarity. It really does. And it made me so mad when my husband has something that's bothering him and he don't bring it to me. And then I'm like, you holding on to this all week. And if you would have just came to me when that happened, then we could have like moved forward from it. But I just know that about him. But then sometimes I'm like that too. But see, he know me long enough. When he see me looking a certain way, he be like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. He's like, all right, let me know when you're ready to talk, because I know there's something wrong with you. So him and I, we know that. Like, we're not perfect in our relationship, but we most definitely have nurtured the imperfections within our relationship. We're very well of the imperfections and the debilitations in our relationship. And that's what you want to be aware of. Like, what is the weak points in my relationship? In order for you to have a long-term relationship, you gotta know the weak points, y'all. If you are in your relationship and you cannot identify what the weak points are, 9 times out of 10, it's probably you. You want to know the weak points. With me and my husband, our weak points is communication. Right then and there. Communication. And I would say sometimes sex. But yeah, I would say that sex and communication. Let me tell you why. I'm a Mercury in Sagittarius. He is a Mercury in Virgo. And if any of you know anything about Virgo and Sagittarius, they are going in the same direction differently. Okay? They're going in the same direction differently. And they don't realize that they're going in the same direction, but the way that they go at it is different. So for example, I'm all about looking like at the widespread of it. He's about the detail. It's always about the details. He's overly detailed. So, and then sometimes I might miss over the details. So I might say something and it may not make sense or whatever. Or he might stay on something too long or something, but we know communication. We know we can't play with each other like that. We know that there is a sensitivity with the way we communicate. You know how you with someone, you get to say whatever. Oh, no, not us. We have to be very mindful of how we speak to each other, because it could rub one or the other the wrong way. And then sex is a sensitive thing for us because we have a child and we live in a one studio house, cabin. Because I live in Hawaii, and so tiny homes is a big thing here. That is part of the culture here in Hawaii. So we live in a studio cabin. So our child is always with us. So, but we're still young. We still want to have sex, but it's kind of challenging because I'm not always in the mood when my baby is right here. And so we just can't just get it in anytime that we want. So in a long-term relationship, you want to make sure you have a healthy sex life with each other. You know what I mean? You don't want to be a hoe out in the street. You want to be a hoe in bed with your husband. But and I know I'm just being funny. But you know what I'm saying. Once you are with someone for the long term, now that's when you can really unleash your freak on them. But when you have kids, oh gosh, y'all, it's not that easy. Yes, I will do a tour, McGinney. I'll do a tour because I usually do a tour every so often. So I got new followers, so I'm gonna do a tour. I'll let you see the place we live on. So I know that is a weak spot. I know if he gets upset or if I feel a certain way, I know why. I'm not like making it this thing. Like we are very aware of some of our weak spots in our relationship. So that's just a tip that I wanted to give you guys. And then okay, so now I wanted to talk about how to know when the relationship needs to end. Okay, because this is people that get a love and relationship reading from me, because I do love and relationship readings also. And everybody that I have mostly everybody that I have done a love and relationship reading for, they wanted to come to me because they want to end the relationship. And I am a big advocate of, if you have children in the relationship, your first option is no option, because you have children with this person. And people are really nasty with the father and mother of their children. But what you don't know, how you are treating the mother and father of your children, you are showing them who they are, your children. Did I say that clearly? So if you don't have no respect for the father of your children, and you're being disrespectful and talking down on them, you must understand that your child has 23 chromosomes of that man. So whatever you are saying about him, your child is computing that to mean something about them. So regardless if it didn't work out with you and your man or your woman, you need to make sure that the father of your children and the mother of your children are being taken care of and that they're well, because you are the root or the foundation of your children. And that is the reason why I do my best to work on my relationship. I don't like saying work. I don't like to say it. Okay, y'all. I hate that. Let's take the word. The reason why I am committed to my relationship with my husband is because I want to make sure my son Zen has an excellent male figure in his life. I want him to see his father and respect his father and love his father and look up to his father and be like, I want to be like him when I grow up. And I know I play a part in that by the way that I treat my husband, by the way that I love him. Okay? And even the type of woman that I am. Rambo need to make sure that I'm good, because then the way that he knows the world, the way your children know the world, is by their parents. So if the parents aren't good, if the parents aren't solid, how do you think that's going to affect the children? You know what I mean? Because 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I was going to leave my relationship. It was public and everything. Everybody knew I was going to leave my husband. But then when I decided to stay, I chose love over anything else. That's when things had to change, because I didn't want the relationship. I didn't want our home to just be like we were roommates. I don't want you to stay in a relationship just so y'all have kids. No, if you're going to stay in that relationship with children, you need to work on yourself and show up in the relationship. Don't have separate bedrooms. Don't be roommates. No, really work on be committed. Be committed, not work. Be committed to that relationship. Learn how to communicate. And even if you arguing in front of the children, if you argue, you got to make sure that you forgive each other in front of the children. It's nothing wrong with arguing in front of your children, but your children need to see the duality of it. The children needs to know how to have conflict skills, communication skills, resolution skills. So they see that within you. You hide and be like, we gonna argue. No, how's the child going to know when you disagree with someone? Then this is how you work on it. I know I cannot stand saying work on it, but you know what I mean. But this is how you rectify the situation when you argue with someone. And I ain't talking about putting your hands on each other and all this and that. No. And if you are in a relationship with a person putting their hands on you, get out of the scene. And then that person that putting their hands on you, y'all need to decide if they need to get professional help. We all have anger issues. We all have a temper. But there's some people that just go too far. But at the same time, don't take it personal. If you're in an abusive relationship with someone, don't take it personal, because they can only give you the love that was given to them. So when you are dating, hello, young man, hello, young woman, y'all listen up. When you are dating, if you want to know who you're dealing with, when you go out on a date, ask them, tell me about your childhood. Then you're going to know everything you need to know. And then you can decide if that's the monkey you want at the circus. Okay? Because determining what their childhood was like is going to let you know how they will treat you, how they will love you. Ask them about the relationship with their mama. Ask them about the relationship with their daddy. And that's going to let you know who they are. I'm just saying. Now, when it comes to children, I feel you need to do your best and work on it. You can co-parent, but I just believe do your best. Do your best to make the relationship work. Now, if the person's not willing to commit to the relationship and grow, and they're just not willing to eliminate unhealthy behavior, then you may have to leave the situation, because you don't want to put your children in a situation that is harmful, okay, that is fatal, okay? You know the difference. So this is how you know when it's time to end the relationship. When you both have a mutual understanding. When y'all both feel like you have come to the apex of the relationship, that you both got what you needed out of this relationship. You know, you love them, they love you, but it's just you want to do something different. And it's okay. It's a very objective way of looking at it. Like, it's time for, you know what I mean? That's when you know it's time to end the relationship. Now, the reason why I say that, you want to know why I say, and now, before I go in, and then you want to be aware of being accountable versus you being a victim. You don't ever want to leave a relationship being the victim, because you are not a victim of your life. Remember, you chose that person. You chose to be in a relationship with that person. And you can say, well, they didn't show me who they were until I got with them. Because a lot of people were telling me, well, you don't really know a person until you get with them. That's a lie. You can know a person as soon as you meet them. At least I can. I can see exactly who you are without even doing your birth chart. Your birth chart is a plus. But with regular people, they're not going to just like, let me see your birth chart, But if you listen to a person and you see how a person treats you, you see how a person treats themselves, you see how they're living, before you commit to it, people will show you who they are. I'm sorry. They are. They will show you if you pay attention to the signs. So don't be like, well, no, you can't really know what the agreement is if you don't really get to know a person. No, you do not want to sign yourself up for that. You want to speak right up front. These are my standards. These are my boundaries. This is what I want. What is it that you want? Who are you? What do you want? And if that person can't tell you, and if they feel weird about you even asking them, they'll let you know right then and there ain't somebody you want to talk to. The reason why you want to end the relationship like this, with mutual understanding and you taking accountability for the relationship, is because you do not want to take the baggage of this relationship onto the next relationship. So whoever leaves this relationship, and we didn't come to no mutual understanding, and we didn't take a responsibility on both parts, you're going to take that baggage of the relationship with you to the next one, because you didn't learn. You didn't see yourself. You didn't see the lessons. You didn't understand why you attracted this situation in the first place, so that you will not attract it in the next place. So you can sit here and say all day, I'm in a toxic relationship. I had to leave a toxic relationship. You are toxic. The reason why the relationship was toxic because you was in it. So what toxic behavior did you interjected that you contribute? You have to know that. Because if you are not aware of the baggage that you brought into the relationship, you're going to keep on, you're going to be the bag lady, and you're going to take it to the next relationship. And this is not saying that the person in your relationship is not wrong and that they don't have no responsibility, but you don't have control over that, do you? You don't have control over what people do and what they don't do. So why does it even matter? So when you can be like, you know what? I take full responsibility of this relationship because I did not love myself. I did not have standards. I did not know who I was. So that's why I attracted you to show me. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you know what? And now because of this relationship, I'm going to love myself more. Now, because of this relationship, I'm going to have boundaries of what I accept and what I don't accept. This relationship taught me how to say no. This relationship taught me, about abuse. But the real abuser is myself, not you. You might have bruised my eye, but I'm the one that allowed this to come into my space. So when you can start looking at your life in that way, oh, child, you are empowered. No one can take your power away. No one can bamboozle you. No one could put the veil over your eye because it is your life and you're choosing to live it the way that you want. And any issues that come into your life is there to be lessons for you to grow. You don't have obstacles. You have opportunities. Anything that comes into your life, it is an opportunity for you to grow, for you to learn, opportunity for you to let go. You don't have haters. Your haters are your best friends because they are reminding you of who you was. They're reminding what you said. Okay? All right? They're the ones who want you to succeed the most because they want you to prove them wrong.